Nice. Yep. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm here with my usual co-hosts, Tim the Terrible and Uncle Gary.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. I'm glad you're with us today. We look forward to talking to y'all. It helps us de-stress and enjoy our, whatever happened during the day. Just to come out here and talk to y'all makes it all better.
Yeah, and that's right. And today, Monday is Veterans Day, and Uncle Gary, you picked out the perfect story for us to review today, and that is
That's
Enemy
right.
Ace, War Idyll.
I have my copy right here.
Got my copy.
I got a shirt that says salute, so.
Oh, you know what's real cool on my copy? George Pratt did that.
Look at that. Golly.
George, it looks like it's part of the book, right, Sonny?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking, I'm like, wait, where's the actual signature? But yeah, there it is, yeah.
He drew that picture.
Wow.
That picture is from George Pratt. He drew that.
Look who's in the chat.
Hey, Sal.
And Mighty Mike Harbor, who I think y'all, Tim, I think your copy came from Mike.
Yeah, because he was on the episode of Sergeant Rock and the
Right.
and Easy Company.
His book, George Pratt drew a different picture here, and neither one of us knows who has the best picture. We argue back and forth. Yours might be better. Oh no, yours might be better. And so it's pretty damn cool.
Hey,
that George
Bushy,
Pratt,
good to see you.
that
Greetings,
George Pratt
Bushy.
drew different pictures for us in here. So
You have got
Great
to get a picture of Mike's drawing in his book so we can see it.
Dan says, that's awesome. Hey, Dan. And
Hey,
I must
Dan.
agree with what Dan
Hey, Dan.
said. That is awesome.
I wish I'd had it. Mike's in California right now, and he was going to watch if he could. So, but yeah, it's really cool though that Pratt drew each of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is.
met him
It's a
at
great
Baltimore
picture, yeah.
4 years ago. Yeah, so I'll look forward to when we review that book today, and I hope you all enjoy it. We'll find out if you all enjoyed it.
Gary,
That's
we've
it,
had
right?
that talk privately, so I think you know the answer.
I think I know.
Yeah, but also today, we having Variant Insanity as usual. Tim, your wrist okay? You're breaking it back into place.
I had a little thing floating in front of my face, and it had to go away.
You were very limber there, Tim.
Why do you think I'm wearing the compression glove?
There you go.
Man. But yeah, also, in the comic news day, there hasn't been that much comic news this week, but a few people are talking a bit of trash. You got Capullo's talking about his colorist. Tom Hanks is talking a bit of trash. Everybody talking trash lately.
All the
But-
trash talk.
Like I said, we'll have Variant Insanity. As usual, there's always one comic book that has the most variants of the week. Uncle Gary will have the 5 statements for right or wrong today. We'll be having someone practicing in a mirror, or someone who should practice in the mirror for the random panel of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, so it should be in like that. And then we'll finish off the show with Enemy Ace, War Idyll.
That's right.
So it should be a good, fun episode. I'm excited for it. Yeah. Guys, Halloween was last week. And Tim, I was telling you in the pre-show, how we reviewed Halloween, or Batman the Long Halloween. I said, now I'm going to, for this next year, I'm going to read each chapter with the holidays they go with. So on Halloween, I read issue 1. On Thanksgiving, I'll get to issue 2.
Wow.
I think it'll be an interesting way to go through the stories.
That's
I've gone through multiple
wonderful.
times. Yeah.
I did not get to see the Halloween show or the long Halloween review. Were the reviews high at the end of that?
That was a 10 across the board, Gary.
And the chat, everybody, yeah. The chat on the show.
As well it should have been. Well done, gentlemen.
Across the board. I think that was the first time in a long time that we have had that much high praise for a series.
I wonder if we could do that 2 weeks in a row. That would be something.
I don't know.
Man.
We'll have to see at the end of the show. We'll get to the actual real story. Yeah. That should be an interesting one.
Well, I think the past couple of weeks I've been giving out 10s like Halloween candy. Because what?
Giving out 10s like it was Bo Derek clones?
You better believe it. Giving out 10s like Gambit does playing cards. Yeah. What Midnight Suns got a 10 from me.
Yeah.
Long Halloween got a 10 from me. I can't even
Don't
remember.
spoil today.
Let me take a look here. I've got Days of Future Past got a 10 from me. So
That's what I should have, yeah.
yeah. And then before that was I've got it all right here.
Tim, everybody knows you got it all, baby.
Gotham by Gaslight got a 10 out of me.
To think when you first joined the podcast, Tim, we were like, Tim the critic joins the podcast because you were tough on giving the 10s. Yeah.
God, now I'm giving them all out.
Yeah, Dan says make sure to check out the last Halloween series too. Yeah.
Yep,
now I'm the asshole because I killed that.
That darn 8.9 of the overall grade for Midnight Suns.
I know. I brought it down. I'm such a jerk. I'm sorry. Felt real bad about it too. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, but that you are right though. Like the Darkhold issue and the Night Stalkers issue, and even the Morbius issue, they are hefty weights.
I did like the Morbius story. That one I meant I liked.
Morbius was okay. It was Darkhold and the other one that were terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But did you notice though that for like all of those, and I think even Ghost Rider was just permanently like this. Instead of the borders of the pages being white, they were black.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure because
nice aesthetic.
I had the graphic novel, so I just assumed that's like what was for that. I didn't realize that was for the actual comic.
Mr. Keith has a comment here. He says, "Happy Wednesday. I'm over 2 months sober and finished a first draft of a play about a cult in Chicago. No, not a Cubs fan. Also, I'm loving Squadron Supreme so far. Glad for these live streams each week." Mr. Keith,
it's amazing.
Congratulations on being 2 months sober. That is wonderful.
Absolutely. Much love to you for that. Much respect.
Yeah, very much so. And the first draft of your play about a cult in Chicago, I'm very curious to read that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Squadron Supreme, you and Dan can talk about that in chat the rest of the show if you want to, because that's one of his favorite series.
Man, keep in mind with that play, you know a certain actor in Chicago. This man right here.
Uh-oh.
Not a actor,
awesome.
The actor.
That is right.
The actor.
Gary, or no, not Gary. Sonny, did you tell Gary about your motivation for background acting recently?
Oh no, I did not about that.
Please inform him of that.
If it has anything to do with heavy flow, I don't want to know.
Oh no, nothing to do with heavy flow.
Mannequins.
So I was working as an extra on this show called All Her Fault, and it hit me as a pedestrian walking by, and I told Tim, a pedestrian who's looking at a mannequin doing something. And then they happened to give me a coat, and it's like the big flasher coat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really look like I'm up to no good in this big old coat. And they're like, yeah, you look like one of the directors said you look like a Pink Panther villain, so we're gonna change your coat out.
Nice.
But I was not able to find a mannequin, so Tim, I didn't get to do what you wanted me to do on camera.
But it was here, Sonny, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
You needed to have the mannequin in just black socks and bare legs down. I mean, with your coat.
Oh my God.
Screenshot as your headshot.
There you go.
You could always type in Sonny Kruger on Google, and you'll find some of my pictures right there. I'm the first one who shows up when you type in Sonny Kruger.
Get a good pose ready, so that way Keith knows the timestamp. So it's 8:55, 8:57 right now. There you go.
There you go. Like the guy in what will be coming up in the random panel of the week.
Sonny just screams deviant. You have no idea, Bougie.
No, I don't know. I don't have any idea what anyone's talking about. I don't even know.
Oh my Lord. All right. Golly.
Well, boys, it's been a fun pre-show, and I think it's time that we jump on to the actual show so that we can make everybody forget about the deviant talk and just.
I agree.
Sonny, they'll never forget that.
Okay, see everybody in 30 seconds.
Oh my God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We will be back in 45 seconds. But until then, enjoy something you haven't enjoyed in over a month, and that would be some groovy bass tones.
Groovy.
Sonny, go put that French coat on.
Yeah, go ahead. There you go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my usual co-hosts, Tim Morris, Tim the Terrible, and the one and only Uncle Gary.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you, good people.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you all, too. Good to have everybody joining us. Today, we've got a great show ahead for everyone. We will be reviewing Enemy Ace, War Idyll, and Tim and Uncle Gary. They have issues of it themselves. They got the book
Mine's not
themselves.
as cool as Gary's, but
I know.
Somebody drew a picture on Uncle Gary's one.
yeah.
Do we have a picture? Look at that great picture. Mr. George Pratt drew that for me. Yes, he did.
Yeah, so it was a fun pre-show we had. I don't know what that Deviant Talk is about, in the comments, but I mean, I have this comic book called Vegetable Lover. But
there you go.
He's got the same comic book. Uncle Gary's got the same one.
God.
So.
I do have the same comic book, but you've coveted that book for a long time, and thanks to Dan Kelly made sure that you had what every little deviant needs.
A copy of Vegetable Lover. You're not in the club unless you have a copy of Vegetable Lover.
God.
Me and Uncle Gary are in that club.
Yeah,
I am not in that club.
I've not switched to being a total vegetarian. Have you yet?
No.
No, not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
There's work to be done.
Yeah, but yeah. So we having some fun. We were talking about the show that I was on, but they gave me a trench coat. Uncle Gary, maybe another episode I'll have to pull out my trench coat. But that's for the Punisher, though. That's why.
Great.
No, is that what you're calling it when you do that with the trench coat open? The Punisher?
The Punisher.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the Sunisher.
The Sunisher. Nice.
Wow.
I like that.
Dan's got a good point here, Sonny. You got to get it graded. You'll have the only.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be the only one graded.
And Bougie asks, how did you get that comic book and what exactly did you do?
Just was kind to a person named Dan Kelly, and then he sent it my way.
He had to candy somebody's yams to get that.
And the ears that hear the slightest whispers, the ever lovely Pam. What's that about, Vegetable Lover?
The Pam, show Pam.
This. There we go. That beauty right there. That beauty right there.
God.
Pam, look up that cover. You see that cover once, and you'll never be the same. Now, here's what I've talked to a guy that is a grader for CGC, and you know how many copies do you think they see of Spider-Man 300? Right?
Oh God,
millions, right? But when they see when he sees a unique book, he reads the sumbitch. He's like, so. When you send that in, I guarantee you they're going to read that and enjoy that before they grade it because they never had one in there.
Oh my God!
You've been sonished. Wow.
There's a Dancy after he flashes them, he can say you've been sonished.
My Lord.
So you will give them entertainment value, and you may get a higher grade for that. Because
I hope they don't lick it or anything, seeing the stuff in there.
Well, you'll never know because they'll seal it up again.
Yeah.
But ASM 300, yeah, all right, they're dime a dozen, blah blah blah. But Vegetable Lover, you may have 10 graders in there looking at.
You're gonna be like, guys, come here and look at what just came across my desk.
Who sent this in here?
Yeah, what deviant sent this in? I bet it's that dude from Chicago with the trench coat.
Oh my God, the guy that destroys all his action figures.
Oh, my God, that's right.
What are you talking about?
He's known.
Lord.
The legacy, my legacy's going on. I've got to change it. Somehow we've gone way off.
Stare at the Sunny. Go ahead. You know you want to.
I don't know. We've gone way off. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I've got this reputation is bad with toys, and I'm great with toys. You could even send me a whole bunch of toys, and I won't break any of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I guarantee it. But we've got quite a bit of show. We got Variant Insanity, which Sal gave me the info on what comic book it is that has the most variants this week. Uncle Gary will have the 5 statements on right or wrong. Like I said, we have a random panel of the week. We'll be reviewing Enemy Ace, War Idyll. But to start us off with the comic book news, I'll get us going with a quick little rundown. Greg Capullo has called out his colorist Francisco Plasencia because Francisco, who goes by the pseudonym of FCO, was not able to meet some deadlines and has dropped out of the project of Wolverine Revenge. So Greg Capullo is not happy about that. And then also somebody else has been talking a bit. It's been Tom Hanks. You may remember Tom Hanks. He's the guy from that Bachelor Party movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he was talking about comic book movies when he was on that Happy Sad podcast. And what Tom Hanks was saying was basically, we got to hear it's been talked about. A lot of news articles have been posting it, like Variety and things like that. Tom Hanks said, we've had 20 years of comic book spectacle, but now moviegoers are asking, the story is what? The point of this movie is what?
But they're not asking that. So
exactly, yeah, they're not asking that. I think it's more of just a lot of the people in Hollywood are very salty that the superhero movies just, they dominate the box office, and a lot of other people that come out movies, they're not doing as good as those other ones, so they like to put them down and say, oh, well, they're not real movies, when we know they are. You look at so many incredible stories out there that are in comic books. It's like, how are you gonna go against that?
So
just jealousy.
Here's my thing, right? There's a reason why my Blu-ray shelf is full of 80% comic book movies, because it's movies I love. I love the other stuff too, and like Big Lebowski and Saving Private Ryan, and
oh god, I love that.
et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I love those movies, but the reason why I watch all of those movies is to escape reality for an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, right? I personally don't think that people are asking, what is this all about? What is this? I don't think that that's the case. I think the case is that we know what we're going to get when we go into these movies. Love them or hate them, we know exactly what we're going to get when we watch them, right? I don't watch The Big Lebowski for its take on bowling, right? I watch it for other reasons, because it's a fun, silly movie, and it's awesome. It's wonderful. I watch comic book movies because I love comic books. I watch Saving Private Ryan because I want a great, historically accurate action movie, right? That has a fictional premise based in a real scenario.
Great movie for Veterans Day, by the way.
100%. I think Tom Hanks, like Martin Scorsese, is pissed off that their movies aren't doing as well, and these tentpole franchises are, for the most part, doing great. Mr. Keith says, and I think this is entirely accurate, this ends the conversation right here. He's just mad he didn't get cast as Dr. Doom.
Exactly.
And Dan has a good point.
Yeah,
Hanks is another guy trashing movies he probably hasn't watched. I'm sure he's watched one or two.
Yeah, 1 or 2 out of the 50.
Yeah.
Well, but with what he said, was he as bad as what Scorsese said, or was he just kind of,
I
just not talking on the podcast. Yeah, more just saying like, oh, people want to know what's the point.
Yeah.
But and then too, yeah.
Has Hanks been in a good movie besides The Burbs? Yeah, he's been in 1 or 2. The Burbs is great though, but
and then another time I did see that Tom Hanks has said that he doesn't like most of the movies he's been in.
yeah.
So it seems like he kind of doesn't like a lot of movies, that he's pretty harsh on movies, even his own.
I actually think he's our modern day Jimmy Stewart in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to love the Criterion or the Criterion collection, whatever it's called, go ahead, love it. If you want to be a movie snob, do that too. But shit, let us enjoy our comic book movies. Let us be excited about Superman. Let us be excited about the next Spider-Man movie. Who cares?
Yeah, we want Morbius too.
Are you excited about the next Spider-Man movie that Zeb Wells is writing?
I am not.
Hey, remember he was one of the writers, they said, on the Deadpool Wolverine movie. So maybe movies are where he should stick to.
The part that he wrote in Deadpool and Wolverine is the part I dislike the most. And
it would be funny if they released those pages and it's like the worst part.
With him and Vanessa being separated, I'm like, come on, guy. Come on. But I digress.
You gotta make space for Garrison Kane to get in there. Yeah. But there's that. And then, so Greg Capullo was also talking about, that Francisco Plasencia someone may be looking at the comic of Wolverine Revenge and say, wait a minute, it says FCO. So instead of Francisco, he just puts FCO. And that the talk is that there was a lot of deadlines and FCO was having a hard time keeping up with them and is now moving on to a new project. So, the last Wolverine issue 3, it still said that it came out. You guys are at the comic shops more than me.
I have.
It come out October 30th. So it did come out issue 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not too sure yet about the next issue if 4 will come out on its scheduled time or not.
Well, a comic book being delayed, that never happens.
Not at all, Rob Liefeld. Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, all of Image.
Yeah. So then people were saying that maybe Greg should just, that sometimes it's working with people. Some people take a long time. Some people take a short amount of time. But I guess that's more business that should be kind of handled before, like to know, hey, you think you're going to be able to meet all these deadlines? Yes or no? But yeah. And then some people were saying they don't like that Greg was putting it out there, like talking about putting the artist down or putting the colorist down.
Well, I mean, getting into a business like that, you kind of know what you're getting, right? Especially working for the big two. You know that it's going to be hard work. It's going to be long hours. It's going to be tight deadlines. It's going to be unrealistic deadlines and stuff like that. And Greg had a point. He's like, if you can't handle it, then go find something else to do.
Well, did he have something else to do that he just dropped it to go do the other thing, or he just was slow?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think he had anything else. Or if he did, it was an independent project.
Okay. Well, which would piss me off if, you're supposed to do my job and you're doing your independent shit.
Yeah.
So I've got to think there's more to it, because you're right. Usually creators don't call out other co-contributors on a project unless something is really wrong there. Yeah. So it makes me think the other dude was, really, really screwing up.
Yeah.
And too, I heard that Capullo and Placencia had worked together before, so I guess they kind of know each other's style. I'm not too sure. Like, you guys might know more about that, but I was seeing in comments people like, hey, they've worked together. Maybe something else happened.
I'll take a look while you guys talk.
Okay, so a Mike Grill's story. So Mike Grill, who did Warlord and loved Warlord, his stuff was inked a lot of times by Vince Colletta. And Vince Colletta, the word, was a fantastic inker when he wanted to be and when he would take the time to do it. It would incense Mike Grill that he would take home an issue and knock it out in a weekend and not, and just rush through it. And Grill's pencils did not look as good inked by Colletta doing the rush jobs. And it so incensed Grill that he did a whole issue where he penciled it and inked it himself and turned it in on time. And it was getting published that way. And Colletta lost his mind. So pissed that Grill did that. But he wanted to show the difference on how much better it could look if it, a real good inking job was done to it.
So they worked together quite a bit, actually. They he was the colorist on Batman Volume 2 during the New 52. He did the colors for the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6 cover that Capullo did the variant for. He was colors on Dark Knight's Death Metal, Dark Knight's Metal, Detective Comics. Yeah, they've worked together quite a bit.
So this is personal. There's something. There's more to this story. There's something personal between the two of them.
Yeah.
For this to happen. Yeah.
Like what Dan said. Dan said the deadlines were late before the pages got to him.
Yeah.
Let's start some rumors, though. Let's say why we think that they're arguing, though.
He should have been banging Capullo's wife.
Oh,
here we go.
He was inking her pages.
Uh-oh.
We got the rumor mill going.
You want some 4-color ink, baby?
Yeah, I got you. Inject it to you the hard way.
Right. Dan's on our train of thought, Gary and Sonny. Yep. He says he probably had other work he had committed to, and by them being late getting the pages to him, he didn't have time to do them anymore. That's a high possibility.
Yep. So for some of the earlier comments, Bougie said, has Liefeld ever finished a series?
No.
The answer is no. Come on. He's still getting those Kickstarters going for about 10 right now.
I have a better question. Have we ever really wanted Liefeld to finish a series?
No.
No.
No. You mean you're not interested in Deadpool Bad Blood, Badder Blood, Baddest Blood, Super
No.
Duper Bad Blood?
No, not at all.
No.
Golly.
But one thing life always gives us something funny to laugh about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's our favorite punching bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yes, he is. Yeah, well, everyone, I think that wraps up our huge comic book news of the week of 2 stories. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
We
But
stretched it as well as we could.
Yeah, we kept it going, right? We even got a little bit of rumor started.
Yeah.
With the affair going on that caused the breakup of,
Absolutely.
Capullo, Francisco, yeah. So, well, that'd be actually would kind of be funny, but in a way, not if they came out and it was the truth.
Oh
The
my
Codex
God.
station does not endorse these reviews, these rumors. But this is that individual members just hastily threw out there willy-nilly.
Pure conjecture, ladies and gentlemen. Pure conjecture.
And if she hadn't been messing with his willy-nilly, none of this would have happened.
Well, Tim's about to spit out his drink.
Tim is no good now.
Grape Kool-Aid or grape soda almost went up my nose, Gary. Thank you.
It's a little on the beer.
Grape Capullo almost went up your nose.
Some grape Capullo almost went out my nose. My Lord.
Tim, other side.
Fuck it. Leave it. It's
Oh,
good.
Well, Tim, I was teasing you. There was actually none.
well, we hadn't used our F-bomb, so there we go.
There's
Here we
our
go.
one.
And look at that. Even what Mr. Keith says before we
You
jump
could
off.
measure out a Liefeld run in feet. 100%. That's wonderful.
They just would be irregular, wouldn't they?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
A little small for my taste, But everyone is, maybe somebody even say that there's a bit of insanity going on in the world. So we're going to jump onto variant insanity. That's Dan.
That's a catchy tune. I like it.
Believe it.
Oh, yeah. So, everyone, would you all like to take a guess as to which comic book this week has the most variants?
Has Thundercats come out this week?
I'm gonna say Absolute Superman #1.
Gary, I'm gonna go with you on this one. I think that's the accurate answer.
And I'm gonna say 17 copies.
I'll go a little higher and say 24.
All right, everybody in the comments, Bucci had something to say about Rob Liefeld, saying he draws a good busty cap, though.
No, he does not.
Yeah,
Have you checked out his busty Captain Falcon, though?
Well, his cap. Those are bad memories that I don't want to think about.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Uji says TMNT. Gary and I say Absolute Superman.
This week, the comic book with the most variants is DuckTales, #1 from Dynamite Entertainment.
That's a ducked up answer.
And again, what was the number? Anybody want to take a guess as to how many?
I said
Okay.
24.
Well, that was when it was a different book. This is a different book. So let's see.
Booge says 15 in the comments.
I'm going to say 33.
Dynamite is over excessive. So I'm going to say 40.
Tim, if you would have went with it 24, you would have been one off.
Are you kidding me?
DuckTales had 23 variants this week, 1A to 1Y.
Wow. Here's the cover, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. DuckTales.
Well, Scrooge McDuck on that.
Right?
Ducking amazing.
Oh my God.
We got McDucked. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many times YouTube or something is going to think that we're saying another word that rhymes with duck.
Mm-hmm.
Your podcast episode is under review currently. We will get back to you.
Yeah.
So if you got 23 copies, that would be quite an impressive bill you'd have.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. So Dynamite always. I even told Sal, I'm like, always Dynamite.
Always delivers.
He said,
Boom
at least
goes
it's
the
not
Dynamite.
TMNT. He said, at least it's not TMNT. I said, that this week. TMNT, Thundercats are always kind of safe picks.
Yeah. Count
Usually,
on
like you're
Benny.
kind of close. Yeah. Once a month, it's going to be one of those.
Something.
All right, everybody. And that is, if you said Dynamite always has it, you would be right. Look at Sal says McDuct. That's a new word for the day. Word of the day. McDuct.
He is a sucker for a word I can't say right now. Anthropomorphic. Yeah, there we go.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Fancy.
McDuck. Well, Sal will get those and get them McSlabbed.
Hey-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. What a quack.
What a quack.
Hey, Wes. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Wes.
Hey,
Have you
Wes.
back in the comments, man. So, everyone, if you're insanity, like we said, DuckTales #1 had 23 variants, 1A to 1Y. And we know Sal's going to get one of those slabs. He's going to have that. I want to, Sal, you are the slab guy, so I expect to see DuckTales on your wall, slabbed 9.8.
I only need, so if there's 23 copies, I only need to get 23 more of them to have them all.
I'm going to guess there's a little more. 23 variants, I should say. I should have said, 23 variants.
Bougie
Probably a lot
says, Mick, yeah, he will.
Okay, let's move the duck on.
Oh, my
Oh, I saw what you did there.
So, everyone, our next segment is Right or Wrong.
My favorite.
And this week, Uncle Gary is the man with the 5 statements.
All right. And
Ladies-
I have to.
Yeah, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, if you answer in the chat, make sure to put the number in front so we know which one you're talking about.
All right. And I have to admit, Sonny reminded me of this yesterday. And then the next time I thought about it was when Sonny reminded me about 10 minutes ago. So these were hastily jotted down. So not a whole lot of thought went into these. So we'll see how it goes. All right or wrong? The Creatures Commando feature will be awesome.
Right.
Okay, right. Right or wrong, the absolute versions of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman will become the regular monthly versions of these characters eventually.
Wrong.
Wrong. I agree with that. Wrong. Yep.
Wait, Tim, did you say right or wrong?
I said wrong.
Okay, we're all wrong. Okay.
The Beast is so much happier as an Avenger.
Right.
That is right.
That is right. And Sal, that's for you. Okay.
That is the debate that will never die.
That's right. Sonny once had an action figure that remained intact for 6 days.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Wait, technically wrong. I don't think there's one that lasted on only 6 days because it lasted a lot longer. So wrong.
Only 6 days. Only. I'll amend that. They remained intact for only 6 days. All right. All right. Number 5. Right or wrong? The Spectre is the last hero you want to see when you do something really, really bad.
That is 100% right.
That is right.
Right. Yeah. When I think about some of the others, I'm like, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You do not want that.
Going back to number 1, Gary, what was it again?
Oh, let's see. Going back to number 1, the Creatures Commando feature will be awesome.
Bougie says right. Pam says right. And that's it for chat. I said right. And Sonny, what did you say?
Right.
I did too. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And it's coming out. Is it out now? I mean,
next month.
No, I thought it was. Is it December and not November? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's December 5th or December 11th, something like that.
I love the trailer for that. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
2 was the absolute versions of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman that they're introducing now will become the new regular versions of these characters.
Bougie says wrong. Pam says wrong. And that's it for chat. I say wrong. Sonny, what did you say?
I also said wrong.
So did I. And
Yeah.
that being said, I have not read the Superman that came out today. I like the Batman, and I love the Wonder Woman one.
Batman,
People are loving the stories.
I was incredibly pleasantly surprised with Batman, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Nice. Have you read the Wonder Woman one?
Not yet, but that's I'm getting that this weekend when I go to the shop.
Yeah, I really love the Wonder Woman one. Oh,
I know Precious really liked it, and her review was pretty glowing about it, and I'm very excited to check it out.
Sonny,
I will make sure. Not yet, but like I said, I'm hearing great things about all those episode Batman, episode Wonder Woman. So,
Rob read the Superman, and he said it was pretty good. So I have not.
I can't wait.
I brought it home in my stack today, and during I had like 7 days off through teacher work days and election day and some other stuff going on. So I was a month behind on my books. I caught up.
Oh wow!
I had to cram, and I get a lot of books every month. I crammed. I got them all done. So what I bought today, I'm ready to dive into those things. By this,
Then this weekend for Comics Unleashed is going to be awesome because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
it is fun when you have those days when you catch up on all the comics. It's like one after the next. Those are fun days.
Absolutely. So, Number
3,
the Beast is so much more happier as an Avenger.
Bougie says right. Pam says in all caps right. And this is the only one Sal's chimed in. And
It
said wrong. I say right, and Sonny, you say
right.
Yeah,
listen. I love my accent, but he's happier as an Avenger.
He is happier as an Avenger. Absolutely. Yeah. He doesn't have all that pressure. He does not have all that pressure. He doesn't have to be the smartest guy in the room. He's definitely not the strong guy. In the original X-Men, he had to be the strong guy too.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has fun, cuts up, hangs from the ceiling, calls the witch Miss Scarlet, hangs out with Wonder Man. Yeah. And Sal needs to be reminded of this. The Avengers missed him for like 3 or 4 days because he had 4 chicks that he was with for 3 days running. And they wonder, where have you been? He goes, well, Trish and Sally and Sue and whatever told me I shouldn't, that I should not tell. So
the gentleman never kisses and tells.
Oh, he started the whole furry movement. I tried to tell.
Oh my God.
And Uncle G, you made a point when you and Sal had your top 10 reasons when you said he doesn't have to clean up after himself with all that hair.
That's right. That is right. He's got Jarvis there.
Yeah.
Jarvis is mopping up the hair. So Sal is just being contrary because he knows how so utterly wrong he was. Look at Pam. Pam was all Sal put wrong. That's okay.
Sal put something else in there too.
Yeah, Pam canceled that out with her right in caps. So we're gonna take Pam's word over Sal's anyway. And he's biased because he's so. See, there we go. There you go. All right. So that is good. And Booge had the correct answer on that too. Appreciate you, brother. For Sonny, once had an action figure that remained intact for 6 entire days, and only 6 entire days.
That is a universal wrong.
Wrong.
They lasted longer.
No way.
They lasted longer.
How long did Comcast last, Sonny? How long?
Oh, Comcast. Well, are we counting like his first break? Because he had his arm glued back on, and then it was okay for a while, and then it would fall off and come back on. So are we counting it?
When you have to validate it by his first break as opposed to his second, third, fourth, and fifth, that ain't good, buddy.
Oh my God!
I try to Ma, could you glue this on? Ma, could you glue this back on? Some of them have been okay. Some of them had masks ripped off, and can you put the mask back on?
When Dan named you Sid from Toy Story, he was exactly 100% correct, though.
Gary, it really doesn't matter what Sonny says on this. We know. We saw the big plastic bin of carnage. There is evidence, video evidence, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Codex station.
We talked about great movies earlier. Have you all seen Dances with Wolves, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's a scene where they were going to amputate Costner's leg, right? And in the corner, there was a whole pile of arms and legs. That is exactly what that box is.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like
God.
I'm like a scientist. Just you need to experiment sometimes.
No.
Sometimes you need to check Wildcats. I don't think you're able to tell, but remember the guy Hellspawn, the bad villain in Wildcats. I wanted to see what he looked like without the mask, so ripped it off his face before.
Oh my God.
But then I had it glued back on.
So, is your favorite Batman villain Professor Pig?
No.
Yeah, because that's what he likes to do.
Oh my
He likes to
Lord.
tear things apart and cut them up.
So what was that fifth one? The fifth statement again?
Yeah.
He's like, can we move this along?
It's getting pretty late, fellas.
Yeah, it's getting pretty late early here. The Spectre is the last hero you want to see when you've done something really, really bad.
That is absolutely correct. That I think is a universal right there as well.
Absolutely. When Batman will beat the hell out of you. Punisher may shoot you up, may kill you, but the Spectre, he might turn you into a block of wood and cut you up. He might turn you into glass and shatter you, turn you into a candle and melt you. One of my favorite is in the Golden Age Spectre. He picked up, he could alter his size, and he picked up a car that was shooting at him. A bunch of thugs were shooting it, and he crunched it up into a little ball and threw it.
I think the favorite thing that I've seen is what you showed me when we were all up there after Baltimore, when you showed me the showcase short.
Yes.
And he got that woman like a million paper cuts with
of money,
$100 bills. Oh my God.
That is very much. I mean, that was done. That was whoever did that was a fan of that 10-issue Spectre run in Adventure Comics that you're collecting and trying to get the issues of. That is exactly from that in the style of the 70s.
Yes,
grit of it. So well done. I've showed quite a few. Since y'all were up here, I've kept that in the DVR, and I've had a few of my friends and all come by, and I've shown that to them, and it's just so good.
That is a great 15 minutes of animated 70s Wrath of God Spectre, and if you haven't seen it, guys, you need to watch it. It's fantastic.
Is it on YouTube?
I don't think so.
It might be on YouTube somewhere. Look for it. It's a Spectre animated Spectre Showcase animated short. It probably is, because I know YouTube has put things like that on there before. It was the short in front of one of the Crisis animated movies DC had. But
shoot. I'll get it before the show is over. But
but it was one of the Crisis movies they had, and it's probably been. I mean, it may be 10 years old now, but oh man, it's so good. Of those animated shorts they do are really, really good. But
if you know it in chat, ladies and gentlemen, throw it out there.
Yeah.
And I must apologize. I see in the chat that Pam said that bin made me shed a tear. Sorry if my toys made you shed a tear.
Oh my Lord.
Well, Sonny, you have the power to make people.
Oh, hey, check it out. Pam says they are on YouTube.
Good.
Awesome.
Sonny, that's worth watching, buddy. And Pam is so in tune with this. I know she's seen it before, but anybody that hadn't seen it, watch that Spectre short. It is so freaking good. It was perfect for Halloween time. That's why I was showing a lot of people, because the Ghostly Guardian.
2010.
Okay,
and it was on the Justice League Crisis on Two Earths DVD.
Crisis on Two Earths. Okay, I knew Crisis.
Crazy thing that 2010 is already 14 years ago, almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Time's flying by, gentlemen.
We ain't getting younger.
Nope.
No. But we always got to make sure to look at ourselves in the mirror before we go out into the world.
I love that.
Make sure we're presentable.
That mirror, I love that mirror as much as it loves me.
There we go. The random panel of the week. Look at this guy, and he does not know how to smile. And someone says, maybe you could practice in front of a mirror.
Yeah, that looks like a Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's from the Terminator 2 comic book.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. The way he's smiling, yeah.
Pam's a fountain of knowledge, a fountain of youth.
Well, look at that. So there you go. Well, it looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, yeah, maybe you could practice in front of a mirror.
Beautiful.
Sometimes we all got to do that, before we get on the show. Got to make sure that we're, that we're not smiling to like in the podcast. Everybody,
We got to go
Sure.
like this.
There you
Lemon
go.
face. Ooh, lion face. All right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Got to get my lips on the drink.
That's right.
So they're, instead of getting like lip injections, just.
Got to get the artificial sweeteners. Got to get them going.
And then, got to make sure we're all good and presentable. Put on our faces. And then we get on this show.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we could take it off and we show each other. And like, you hit off, right?
No, mine's still on.
We take it off and we say, Tim, you better hit that button. We better not be live as we take off our fake faces for the show.
There you go.
That reminds me, I have another random panel of the week coming up, dealing with taking a face off another time. Yeah, so one random panel a week. But hey, on Comic Character of the Day, the Facebook page, a random panel of the day every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dan's got quite a few really good ones on there. Yep.
Oh yeah, so a lot of the ones we see on the show are on there. Every now and then I'll find one not from there, but a lot of times it's those I see them on there. I'm like, okay, one day we got to discuss it on the show.
I've got to remember to send you some really salacious ones for next time for when I'm going to appear. Because Sonny likes to play the innocent, but he's a dirty little deviant.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Before this show, I was just in my room. I was praying. I was, what can I say? I don't know. People say deviant. People say that I'm not innocent. I don't know what they're talking about.
10 Hail Marys and 5 How's Your Father?
Our father. How's your father?
5 How's Your Father? He's good. 5 How's Your Father? He's good. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Was that from the Blues Brothers?
I think it was from Austin Powers.
Okay.
A little bit of How's Your Father?
Awesome. Did you hear a rumor? I am a little off comic book, but I heard a rumor that there might be an Austin Powers 4.
I hope so.
I always liked it. I know, I'm from England. They say a lot of English people don't like it because, the way he was, his bad teeth. But I love it. I always thought it was funny.
I thought it was great.
Good, fun, silly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Powers. But now it's time we go something completely different from Austin Powers. We bring us to our review. Ooh. This Monday is Veterans Day. Happy early Veterans Day to our veterans out there. Mm-hmm. And now, this is the story. Uncle Gary has picked it out. It is Enemy Ace War Idyll. This time, Uncle Gary's going to lead the review. But as usual, I'll let Tim start us off with the long list of credits.
Yes. So, Enemy Ace War Idyll, ladies and gentlemen, completely created by George Pratt. He did the writing, he did the artwork, he did the inks, he did the painting, the colors, all that stuff with letters, which are incredibly important here, by Willie Schubert.
Uncle Gary, you picked out this story for us.
All right. So this book, George Pratt is pretty much a one-man show, almost, and this is a beautiful book. This is my hardcover edition, and I thought this would be really special with Veterans Day coming up. This book is special to me. I said earlier that George Pratt drew that for me. That looks like it's printed on the page. He drew that for me. This book is painted, and it is beautiful, and I'll show you a few pictures of that, and then I'll just get into the story. I just look at that.
Yeah.
This is just stunning. We review comics, and we review some beautiful books, some fun books, but every now and then we review something that is just a magnificent work of art and literature, and that's what this is. I believe this is art. This tells the story of DC's character of the Enemy Ace in his later years, as he's an older man, doesn't have much longer to go in life, and a younger man, the reporter, wants to talk to him about his experiences in war, and you come to find that the younger man he's not really a reporter. He's just writing. He wants to write a book, and part of it is because this younger man has questions about his own place in life, because you find out he was a Vietnam vet, and he's got grief and guilt and things that are haunting him from Vietnam. He was a tunnel rat. And as he's talking to the enemy ace here about, what he went through in World War One, their stories commingle, and they both were warriors. They both were fighting for their country, for the greater good, and they both became intimate with death, and the death of their comrades, the deaths of the ones they killed. And it is just a beautifully human portrait of war and sacrifice and suffering. And I thought it would be really poignant for us to think of this as we get close to Veterans Day here, and to think of our veterans who have sacrificed so much so that we can be in this land, that can have the freedom to go elect a new leader, every 4 years. And those freedoms that these veterans fight for us for, and, that they're the ones that are there, holding the line. We owe them so much in life. So I just thought this would be appropriate. But this is a wonderful book. It's a wonderful tribute. And I'll do a little bit of a story time where the old enemy ace here, the old fella here, is recounting a dream. And this is just you've seen the beautiful pictures, but I want you to hear some of the writing. And Enemy Ace was, created by Robert Kanigher and Joe Kubert. So they also, George Pratt, talked to them extensively about the character. And then he also researched heavily, World War One. And he had folks that were Vietnam vets. He researched that heavily, and it was just really beautiful. But he says, the Enemy Ace says, "There's a dream I have, a dream of dying. I wake up on a battlefield, and the sounds of gunfire and bomb bursts have ceased. It's always night in my dream, and yet through the gray fog I can see a light that dimly illuminates the scene. I'm standing alone. I can smell sulfur and cordite, and through the wreckage of 1,000 wars, I see him coming towards me, the angel of death. He wears a helmet of gold and the tattered remnants of a hero's cassock. His face and hands are pallid and unscarred. I try, but I can never quite make out the details of his face. Sometimes I think the angel looks like my comrades, and other times my enemies. I think that if I could see him clearly and whole, I would see myself. Then there's a sound behind me. Or perhaps not, but I'm aware of a presence. I turn and see them all, the warriors who died at my hand, and for the first time I am afraid. I'm afraid to stand with them, to join them in their silent vigil. I turn to run, and suddenly it's day. The sky is vast and cloudless, empty but for an enormous golden sun. Oddly, I can look directly into it without shielding my eyes. The light is soothing, calming. I find myself being drawn to that. And then I see them, the Valkyrie. I know they're coming for me, coming to take me away with them. And then finally, I know what I am. I'm a soldier, and I'll always be a soldier, even to the end of days. Let's see. So that is beautiful writing. I think we would all agree.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
poignant. That is beautiful. What a dream the enemy ace is recounting to this young man, and to see these two warriors of different wars of different times come to an understanding that there's something that they see in one another. And there's a really great scene where the ace looks at him and says, "Your eyes." Thank you, Mr. Keith. Thank you. He looks at him in his eyes and he said, You're a soldier. You've seen death." And he just knows.
Early on, right in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, he just knows. So for me, this book is easily within the top 5 graphic novels I've ever read. I think it's moving. I think it's poignant. I think it is beyond a comic, that it is literature and it is a work of art. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. And I encourage all of you, if you can find this Enemy Ace War Idyll, and they are out there. Thanks, Booch. It is simply magnificent in art and in story. And the grade I'm getting, I'm only sorry that we don't have a grade higher than 10, because it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10 for Gary. All right. Tim, you're a mirror.
I'll go, Sonny, since you never get to go last. You always go first. Gary, everything you said about this book is 110% correct. I was gracious enough to, or fortunate, I should say, fortunate enough to be gifted a copy of this by our very own Mike Harbour after he joined us on the Sergeant Rock episode for Comic Character of the Week. And Pam, your question here, or your hope, may be answered someday in the future. So keep your fingers crossed. But
this book would be on it.
Comic Character of the Week, Enemy Ace.
Gary, I remember you and I talking about this book long before Mike joined us on that episode, and you were talking about how wonderful this book was and how I should read it and how I should get it. And I had it in my eBay watch list until you said, "Hey, did you get that?" I said, "No." He said, "Don't. Just wait. Don't get it." And I said, "Okay." And then I get it in the mail. And I was incredibly grateful to get this. And if I could add a little bit of story time,
please do.
Yours, Gary. The back, right? What it says on the back is incredibly awesome. This is a quote from Henry James from 1914. The tide that bore us along was then all the while moving to this as its grand Niagara. Yet what a blessing we didn't know it. It seems to me to undo everything. Everything that was ours is the most horrible retroactive way. But I avert my face from the monstrous scene. World War I was the war to end all wars. It was known as the Great War, and for many, many reasons. And the Day of Silence, when the war ended in 1918. If you've never seen what that looks like, look it up on YouTube. And it'll show you, because somebody had recorded it. Like, there was artillery and all this stuff taking place up until this particular moment in time, and then it just went quiet. There was nothing. This book captures in its writing what it's like to go through trauma, what it's like to live with post-traumatic stress from being a soldier, what it's like to have such a difficult and sometimes life-ending time dealing with the things that regular men and women have to see when they do these things. This book captures it incredibly well. I had never read anything with Enemy Ace in it up to this point, and the writing is magnificent. It is a pure masterpiece. It is a work of art. It's hard to read at times, not because it doesn't make sense, but just because the subject matter in there is incredibly difficult to process. Like, if you've never been through that, right, the only window we have is stuff like this. And to just imagine what these men and women have gone through is unimaginable, right? And this book captures it as best it can. As far as the artwork goes, I will say this. In the beginning, when I was reading it, and Gary, you and I talked about this before, it was a little difficult for me to really immerse myself in the world that was being painted before me. And that was only because George Pratt's artwork was something that I had never been exposed to quite like that before. So the first read through, I had a difficult time visualizing everything. Maybe it was the lighting I had while I was reading it or something like that. But my second read through, I was really able to visually process it a lot better than I did the first time around. So initially, the artwork grade would have gotten an 8 from me, but because of my second read through, that has since changed. And I agree with you, Gary, 1,000,000%. This is a 10 out of 10. There's no other way to give it than that. So there you go.
Yeah, and I think part of that art too was supposed to be a little surreal, like the fog of war.
Yeah.
And so it had a haze.
There were
to
some
it
things that you just weren't supposed to see
to
all
see
the way.
Absolutely. And I think by reading it the first time, because you knew the gist of the story, it made the art. It made you take in the art a little more, understand the art a little more. Because you're right. I get that, but it is well worth.
If you're not used to that type of art style, right? This
it's
sketchy,
impressionistic.
Very much so. This type of art style, it takes a minute to get used to, but on a second read through, and that's worth just as much as the first, you're able to capture a lot of that even more.
Yeah. So, guys, that wraps up the now. All right. I'm used to me going first. So, yeah. So, like I said, Enemy Ace, War Idyll. As you guys definitely touching on all the big things. And Uncle Gary, one of the big parts I was going to mention was that last scene. When the beautiful writing and how he's mentioning his dream, and to the artwork, I believe goes with the style, and he has the bird on his hand and everything. But yeah, so beautiful story. Like we said, perfect for the time. And one thing it made me think about was my grandfather. He is a Marine. He is a Vietnam, war veteran. So it made me think about him. And, certain things that as much as I could read, as much as I could watch, I will never truly know what it was like to be there in that war or any war. And I thank God that I haven't had to deal with anything like that. And, this story does bring out how, they understand each other, even though they fought different wars. Just they look in each other's eyes and they know you're a soldier too.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful connection between the two of them, I thought.
Yeah. And I think there is certain connections like that some people will have, just because of what they've been through. And, it does show that all kinds of soldiers, go through PTSD. And yes, like I said, you guys were touching on a lot of it. But yeah, the story, I thought I moved along fast. 6 chapters. It does go by fast. Then the artwork, Tim, like you were saying in the beginning. Now, my reading experience was different because I was reading online. Yeah. And I feel the artwork will definitely come out more if I actually have the book in front of me. Even Tim, when you showed me before, when you're like, hey, look at this. I'm like, oh, I already know my reading experience will be different. And
a lot different.
Yeah.
Like you said, it takes a little getting used to because there were parts where I was like, wait a minute, it seems almost a little confusing. Wait, what is happening? Especially maybe some of the fighting war scenes with the sky. Sometimes, so a little bit, I was like, I guess I'm kind of almost guessing what's happening. And then
it's the confusion of war. That was the confusion of war. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
They want, George wanted that, like, for us to feel confused. We're not too sure what's going on. But yeah, and it did show, like, we're trying to survive, and it didn't show the soldiers, didn't show any of them as actually being bad. They were more fighting to survive. We've seen the enemy Ace, and he even told a story. He killed a man. He's like, even if he wasn't the enemy, I would have killed him because I just wanted to survive. And then what they did, and even to the Manic, the one who was talking to him, with the Vietnam veteran, how he even said, "Oh, I feel bad. It should have been me, not the guy who was in front of me."
Yeah,
the
survivor's guilt.
Yeah, survivor's guilt, exactly. So I really loved that. I really loved the writing. I feel with the artwork, because I'm like, the artwork, the painting style kind of a little bit had me a little off. I'm like, usually I'm used to that is either being like a picture, but not too much of a full story. But like you said, I feel like a second read more make me understand it more, and I really
a physical
read yes, would definitely be very different from reading it online. So I think it was very interesting. I think it's a terrific story. I highly recommend it, and I look forward to reviewing it. I look forward to reading it again in actual comic book form. So right now I give an open grade of an 8.5 for Enemy Ace War Idyll.
Okay.
And my 2 guys above me who have read it in actual comic book form have given it a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
We can't fault him for his low grade, Gary, because he read it online.
Well, no, look, honestly, and I said this during the Midnight Suns. I read it online, and that was not as good of an experience as if I had pulled out my original copies and read them.
Yeah.
But that was going to be too big of a hassle, so I read them online. So that is nowhere near as fun. So
yeah.
Some stories, I think they are like fine. I think, but then I think there are certain ones, especially like this with the painting style,
ones you
was like you
have
gotta
to have in your
hand.
But still, a very good story, and very powerful.
It's like when you see pictures of works at an art gallery, and then you go to the art gallery.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. When you have it in your hands and you're looking at it and you're reading these things and you can really scrutinize it, is so much, better than reading it online. So these books are affordable. They're soft cover and hardcover editions, but either way, they're wonderful to have. And meeting Pratt was cool too.
This goes back to what you said before, Gary. Like one of the first times you were ever on Codex. These are modern art masterpieces. That's what they are. And even if that's used metaphorically, that is literal here. It's literal. This is a modern art masterpiece. This is a painted, gorgeous, wonderful book that is unreal to look at.
This transcends what most people consider comics to be.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. This is literature.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So a terrific story. Uncle Gary and Tim give Enemy Ace War Idol 10 out of 10, and I've given it an open 8.5.
Subject to change.
Yeah, subject to change. Everyone, feel free to let us know what you think of Enemy Ace War Idol.
Okay, let me ask you this: 8.5 mainly for the art. Did the story get a 10 for you?
Story's a 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Story for me, 10. Yeah, beautiful story. Yeah, I had no complaints about it. It moved fast. It was powerful. It was heartfelt, and I was very satisfied. Like I said, with that ending scene, especially endings mean a lot to me, and it had a beautiful ending.
Oh yeah.
That I wouldn't change it. So
Yeah.
All right. So in the chat there, if y'all haven't read it, we can't recommend it highly. More highly. It is magnificent.
When you look for it, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Type it out like this in eBay or anything like that.
Yeah, because I did see on eBay, it isn't that much money. Because first I was looking, I'm like, oh, it's maybe a hard one to find. I'm like, oh, actually not that much.
Yeah, like this, ladies and gentlemen. War Idyll.
Yeah, Idyll.
Yep.
I guarantee anybody that gets it, you won't be sorry you
Yeah, 100%.
So that is our review of Enemy Ace War Idol. And next week we will have Sal the Slab Guy on, and he is chosen for us to review Drive Like Hell. It's a 4-issue series, and I don't know much else about it other than Sal picked it. It's 4 issues. It's called Drive Like Hell, and we'll be reviewing it next week.
You'll lose your license.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I don't break things. I don't crash. I crashed once. It was a rainy day.
Sonny's a liar.
Sonny's gonna have to go to confession. Forgive me, Father. I've seen that.
Oh my God.
And with that, guys, it's been a great show. I got some things to do. But thank you, everybody. I'm glad we had this awesome episode. I had a really great time. I hope you all did too. I look forward to seeing you all next week. I'll be seeing you guys on the Codex Station soon. We've got some upcoming stuff, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Adam Strange. Sonny, don't forget. Forgive me, Father. I have sinned. I had that incident with the trench coat and the mannequins.
I don't forget.
Yep. Adam Strange tomorrow. So who doesn't like some Strange? I know we do.
Yes.
I love it.
All right.
And then Saturday, you guys got quite a lot of comics to show.
Yes, Comics Unleashed, ladies and gentlemen, our awesome Saturday night show. Bougie, thank you very much.
Thank you,
if you haven't joined us for Comics Unleashed on Saturdays, go ahead and do that. I'm there, Gary's there, Sal is there, Dan is there, Sonny's in the chat, and Jamie's on the weeks that I am not on. So every other week we switch out. Great time, awesome time to look at comic books and talk about stories. We've got Gary's showcase and so much more, guys. You won't be disappointed.
And thanks for Mr. Keith and Pam and Booge and even Sal with his wrong Avengers answer.
That is right. Yes.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Keith.
Thank you.
And Mr. Keith, congratulations on your
yes.
Once again,
anniversary there. That is
2 months
to be
sober.
to be commended, my friend.
Yeah.
Saturday is blessed. Booge, we look forward to seeing you, brother. And Pam,
Sonny, you want me to get us out of here?
Sure. After maybe Uncle Gary could tell us what we'll give everybody, what we've got to give everyone.
Oh.
I haven't heard that in a while, and I'd love to hear that.
You all know, when you're looking at these faces right here, you know that those guys, they've got all the socials, and they would like nothing better than to give them to you.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite social media platforms where we're live streaming right now. Thank you very much for joining us through this entire episode. We appreciate you, and we do this for you 3 times a week. And we love to see you guys in the chat, all you regulars and all the newcomers also. So with that being said, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and or follow if you enjoy this type of content, so that way you can get notified when more content like this comes out all the time, every time, right there at the Codex Station. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, head over to thecodexstation.com to get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Now, before we get out of here, Gary, where can people find you when you're not doing Codex stuff?
Oh, man, you can come to Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store, Comic Logic. You can come see me there every Wednesday. Love to see you. See me, Mike Harbour, Rob Kalin, and getting that 4-color ink that we need. I told you, comic books make you strong, baby. Read some comics, pick up a book, then a stack, then a short box, then a long boxes. Next thing you know, you are jacked and you are packed. Do a few push-ups too. See us there. Also, Comic Character of the Day, the site founded by our good buddy Archduke Kevy. It's the reason that most of us became acquainted through that site. And so I do a cover of the day. Dan does a random panel of the day, and he does a question of the day. Archduke usually picks the character of the day. So it's a really good site. It's a really good place to interact with your fellow comic aficionados. So please go see this great site that Archduke Kevy has created.
There you go. Comic Character of the Day on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you once again very much for joining us tonight. I know things may seem bleak or they may seem celebratory. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, turn off the socials, turn off the television, turn off the news feeds, and do what you come here to do. And then read some comic books and get away from things for a little while. Read that right there.
Sonny, you have to confess to that too when you see
it. Dang it.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Codex Station is a safe space for everybody. All are welcome, and we love you all. So
as you are.
That's right. As you are. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim the Terrible. This beautiful man over here is the curator of the Library of Comics, the Ric Flair of comic books,
Woo!
Uncle Gary himself, and down below is the deviant vegetable lover himself, Son-O the writer. This is the Codex Podcast right here on the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.
Check that out.
What the hell is...
Look at that. That'll be fine. Next time you see him, it'll be broken.
It's not broken.
It's broken now.
It's not broken. It's not broken. It's fine.
Bye,
okay, good night.